Okay, here we go, guys. Now, this is the first video I've done for you, so this is high level, so I want you to be ready for this. The key thing is, when you go through each question, don't just sit there and say, I can't be bothered. Properly listen and properly work out what I'm trying to say in the question. It'll be really useful. Okay, here we go. Right, here we go. First question. Right, whenever you see these questions, circle the bit which says most important, and just think to yourself, which of these is actually the most important characteristic of money? Right, it's not its colour, that's not the most important thing. It's not its design, it's not its shape. The most important thing is that money is recognisable. If people can't recognise money, they're not going to trust it. So just think, all four of them kind of make sense, but which one makes the most sense? Right, question number 2. You have to read the whole question here because a lot of the times, a lot of these answers will make a bit of sense. So which of the following is the most important in giving people confidence their banknotes will be accepted? Right. Yes, it's important that money is easy to carry, but it's not a way to make it more easily accepted as payment. That's stupid. Range of denominations, I don't think that really matters for this question, nor does design aspects. The thing that makes people sure that their banknotes will be accepted is the fact that they're security features, so people can trust they're actually real. Okay, question number 3. I've had to Google this one because I wasn't sure. So it turns out the maximum amount of 1p coins you can use is 20p. You can't use 21p. So actually, 20p's of 1p coins would be legal tender. The next one, the maximum of 2p's you can use is 20p again. So 50p's and 2p coins, you won't be allowed to do. The next two, you are allowed. You're allowed to do £5 and 10p coins, and you're allowed to do £10 and 20p coins. So that's allowed, that's allowed. So the answer is B there. You're not allowed to do 50p's in 2p coins. With this one, it's just learning it. So you just got to remember that the maximum for 2p's or, so I can't write yet with this thing, or 1p's, the maximum you can use is 20p. Right? For 10p coins, the maximum is £5. For 20p coins, the maximum is £10. Okay, this question, you just got to read it again. It says, Mark and Sue both work full-time for the same branch of the bank. So let's cross off the ones it can't be. They're clearly not casual workers because they work full-time, so that can go. It said the whole question has nothing to do with shift work, so that has to go as well. So the question is, if they work for the bank, are they going to be employees or an employer? An employee is someone who works for the company, so that's the answer. An employer is the person who owns the company, so that goes. So the answer is B. Right, on a payslip, what does the letters NI stand for? This is just something you have to know. It is national insurance, and that is that type of tax. So it's another type of tax people have to pay. So they have to pay their, they normally have to pay income tax. Oh, I don't know why I'm writing this, sorry, what's that? I need to get a special pen for this. Or they need to pay national insurance. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is either, and knows that. So it's A. Right. Now this next bit, what is a personal allowance? And you're thinking, I have absolutely no idea. It's to do with tax. And the personal allowance is the maximum amount of money where you don't have to pay any tax. And in the UK, that's £10,000. So the answer is B. Okay. Okay, question number 9. So a packaged account. This is an account where you have a normal bank account, and what they add onto it is they give you like free stuff. So you'll get like free travel insurance, free phone insurance, or you get like special offers for like going to the cinema. What they do is they add extras to a normal current account. So a current account is where you normally put your money. It's a normal bank account. The packaged account is the same thing, but with extras added on. Right. The next question is really easy. An ATM. That's one of those machines inside the bank where you put your card in and you get money out. So it's most useful for a cash withdrawal. Okay. Question number 11. When you first see this, you think, I don't know what the hell it's talking about. But actually, once you hear it, it's really easy. So Shira compliant. This is an Islamic compliant bank account. And the idea is, under the laws of Islam, you can't have high interest. So there can't be any interest in these bank accounts. Monthly dividends, it's not that. And you can't get tax-free interest. The answer is, you get a share of the profits. So what the bank do is they take your money, they put it into Shira compliant activities. I don't know what that is, to be honest. And any profits they make, they'll give it back to you, like a portion of it. So that's the answer. So whenever you see Shira compliant savings account, it's always to do with save a share of the profits. So that question might come up quite a few times. Right, question number 12, I actually had to Google. Now the answer is credit union, C. It's because anyone in a credit union has to have a common bond. And that means that, say, they've all got to have something in common that makes them be able to be together. So, for example, if a teacher group got together and made a credit union, what we've got in common is we're all teachers, so we can have that. So the answer, whenever you see credit union, is always, or sorry, whenever you see common bond, it's always to do with a credit union. Okay, so when you read this question, you see most common tax, and you think, good God, all these four taxes are always common, but it's on expenditure. Now, expenditure is a posh word for spending. So whenever you see expenditure, they just mean spending. And the only of these four taxes that have got anything to do with spending is value-added tax, or what you'll see it normally when in shops is VAT. Now in the UK at the minute, VAT is 20%. So on almost everything you buy in the UK, you have to pay an extra 20% to buy it. Okay. In the UK, what is the rate of VAT on domestic fuel? Right, in that last question, I've just said VAT is 20% on most things. However, domestic fuel, domestic is a posh word for talking about home. So if you say someone's, what would you say, someone's domain? Yes, that's what domestic comes from, so it's their home. Right, it's not 20% for domestic fuel, it's only 5%. So any fuel to do with heating someone's house, they only pay 5% VAT. I think the reason is the UK government don't want people not to be able to heat their house, so obviously it would make people ill. Okay. Question number 15. If you bought £10,000 worth of premium bonds, right, now we know this is easy. Premium bonds. That's a thing where what happens with the premium bonds, you get to get in a prize draw every single month. But you don't get any interest. So you don't get any. So the answer is A. But you do get to go in the prize draw. Right. What is the greatest risk to an investor of buying shares in just one company? Right, this is surely going to be easy, right? Yes, it's probably a risk that profits could reduce. Yes, the company may make a loss, but we're talking about the greatest risk. The share price may fall, but the biggest risk, if you only have one company, is the company may fail. And if the company fails completely, you lose all your share. So, although some of those answers are right, the only one which is the greatest risk is B. Right, Sarah's making the final preparations for a holiday and is thinking about the best way to handle her bills at home when she's away. It's very good of Sarah. Right? What's the least appropriate method of payment for this purpose? So she wants to handle her bills at home while she's away. Okay, let's think. So here we go, right. So it's her bills when she's at home. Now, you're thinking, what they've tried to do is try and trick you. They're saying she's gone on holiday, and you think, well, it's quite important to have traveller's checks when you go on holiday. But no, it's about how she handles her bills at home. So the most stupid way of handling your bills at home would be to use traveller's checks. Because traveller's checks are those things where, for example, when I was younger, and I went to Tenerife with my friends, which was very exciting, my mum gave me £500 worth of traveller's checks. Now what they're a thing that instead of having money, you have these checks, and you can go to the bank and change them for money. But the best thing about them is, say you lose traveller's checks, you can just get more given to you. Whereas if you lose money, you lose it. But anyway, the point is, traveller's checks, you're never ever going to use them to handle your bills at home. So that's the answer. Right, this next one, I think, is to try and differentiate between people getting an A and an A star. Like, it's hard, but just listen to it, so see what you think, right? Now, the key thing is, to understand behind it is, when you go to a bank to change your money, they'll sell you euros at a certain rate. So you'll get a certain amount of euros when you buy them, which is this. When you buy them, you get 1.47 euros. But when you sell it back to them, they'll give you a crappy rate, and that's their way of making money on you. So anyway, here we go. So first of all, you buy £50 worth of euros. So the first calculation you've got to do is 50 times 1.4725. And the answer you'll get then is, you will then, from doing that, you'll get, give me a second, I'll just put it on my calculator. Now remember, you are allowed a calculator in this exam, so don't just give up on this sort of question. You know, you can get the right answer. So anyway, you're going to get 73 euros and 625 on it. So that's the amount of euros you'll get. Now the thing is, you're going to straight away turn them back into pounds. So to do that, right, you've now got your you put your 73. Oops, sorry. You put your 73.625, and you times that by the rate over here. You times that by 0.6525. Right, when you do that, the answer you're going to get is, just give me a second, so it's 73.625 times 0.6525, and the answer you get equals £48 and 4p, which is answer C. Now the thing is, right, I'm not saying that you're going to get that straight away. Like a lot of you will find that harder. I don't blame you. It actually took me 3 goes to do it. But I'm going to show you about 4 or 5 of them before the exam, and I think it'll be the same every single time. So don't panic about it. Okay, we're on to the case studies, which for me, all I can see from the case studies is it just involves one picture randomly of a guy, or in this case, a guy that's doing some window cleaning. Anyway, so Tom has his own window cleaning business and works on his own, which is nice for Tom. Which of the following best describes Tom? Right, he works on his own window cleaning, right? So obviously he is self-employed. I think that makes the most sense out of all those options. He is self-employed. He might be an employer. The thing is, he's not an employer because he works on his own, so he doesn't employ anyone. He's not an employee because he has his own window cleaning business, and he's not unemployed because he's got a job. So obviously he is self-employed. Right, question number 20. Tom's friend Razik is studying at a nearby university. When he has his time and Tom has enough work, Razik helps him. However, Razik decides when he can and cannot work with Tom. Okay, remember, whenever someone decides the times when they can work and they have a choice in the matter, they are casual workers, right? A labourer, he might be a labourer, but that's not the posh word for it. He's not a part-time worker because part-time means that you'd actually have he might do Mondays and Wednesdays, whereas he decides when he can and cannot do it. And he's not a shift worker because he hasn't got any shifts. So the answer is A. Okay, what age does the national minimum wage start to apply? Okay, so this is a quick answer. So the national minimum wage starts to apply when people are 16. So that is the age. It's not 18, it's not 14. If it was 14, then all of you would be able to start getting it. It's 16. Right, this next question, again, a lot of them make sense. Right, which is the best thing to do with his money? So he's got a pile of pound coins, right? So now the thing is, so he can benefit over the long term. So if he spent it, he would only benefit in the short term, so that's stupid, it's not that. If he hides it in his room, he won't be getting any interest, and it's not very safe, so that doesn't make any sense. Right, if he put it into a bank current account, that wouldn't be a bad idea, so I can see why you might put that, but he's not going to be getting that much interest. However, if he puts it into a savings account, he'll get much more interest, so the answer is B. If any of you got put C, I can see why you've done it, but B, remember, savings account get you much more interest than a current account. Right, 23. Which of the following is likely to have the most negative impact in the long-term value of money that John has saved? Right. I'm going to say that's rubbish. A reduction in the use of cash in society. Does that make any sense? Increasing the number of bank branches won't have an effect on him. More bank services provided online, no effect. The key thing is increasing the price of goods. Now the posh word for this is inflation. And I'll explain that really quickly. Now, the best way to explain it is, have you seen Freddos? Like back in the day, Freddos were 10p. Freddos are now 25p. So if John had £10 in his bank and he wanted to buy loads of Freddos, back in the day he could have got loads of them. But now he can't get as many because Freddos have gone up, have increased in value. Sorry, increasing the price. So therefore, if there's an increase in the price of goods, the value of his money is not as good. Well, I had to Google this. Whenever you see NS&I, that is premium bonds. So they don't always give the best returns. They're not always tax-free. They're not available through every bank, but they are backed by the government. So that's a good thing. So they come from the government, basically. That's what premium bonds come from. Right, big news. Sally Ann is very excited, right? She's just booked tickets to go see a football team play the FA Cup final at Wembley. Right, the face value of the ticket is £50, but she had to pay £52. Wow. So why is it likely she had to pay an extra £2? Is it going to be a ticket duty? No, because I don't know what the hell that is. Football Association, no idea. Supporters tax, don't know what they're talking about. It's a booking fee. Like if you ever go on Ticketmaster, almost always they'll make you pay a booking fee. So that's an extra £2 is normally the thing that would be. Okay, next question, 26. Vila ordered tickets by telephone for a concert. Okay, they're meant to be £28 each. He buys 2 and is told that the total is £57. Right. Oh, okay, what's that? Okay, fine. So it's not a duty. A duty is to do with tax. It's not a premium fee. There's nothing premium about it. It's not a tax there. It's just a hidden charge. It's one of those things you don't realise is happening. And you'll see it loads with things where you'll buy something and they'll screw you over by putting an extra charge on that you don't really notice. And that's what it is. Example of that is, you know when you buy something on eBay, it's like 20 quid and you think you've won. And then at the bottom it says £7.50 delivery charge. You think, you've screwed me again, eBay. That's an example of a hidden charge. Right. You've got to have a real proper look at yourself if you get this one wrong. Comparison websites are an easy way of shopping around. So you can comparison websites are like comparethemarket.com, where you get to see loads of different rates for different things, and it's easy to shop around, decide which is the best rate for you. Okay, we're on the home straight now. Answer the following 3 questions. The actual value of one currency against another can change frequently. This is due to the change in now. Whenever it's not cash rates, it's not country rates, it's not currency usage. For this question, it's always exchange rates. So the exchange rate is the amount of money you can exchange maybe pounds for compared to euros. Okay. 29. Steve has gone on holiday and has some currency left over, which is nice for Steve. Where should you take it so he can change it back into pounds sterling? Right. Okay, here we go. Currency shop, there isn't such a thing. Currency converter, don't know what it's talking about. Now, here you've got 2 options, bureau de bank or bureau de change. Right, the answer is B. So from now on, just whenever you see that, they're trying to trick you, it's bureau de change. And we're on the final question, which is good because I'm losing my voice, right? Steve decides to change the unused currency at his local building society. In this case, the building society is the... Right, the answer is they're the ones who are buying it. That's it. Nothing else to say. They're not lending the money to him. They're not selling it. They're not the user of money. They're buyers. So that is the answer, right? I know you can't be bothered, but look back on questions that haven't made sense and just say to me which ones my explanation didn't help you with. Okay, well done, guys.